past few months, what with the lockdown, we haven't had too many new cars to review on this channel, and that's why we have been throwing back to the cars that we grew up with. Our Gone But Not Forgotten series, we've reviewed the Zen, we've reviewed the Ambassador. The link to those videos is somewhere up here, and you should go check that out. A lot of you loved it, going by the likes and the comments and the reactions to it. But to be honest, I did not become an automotive journalist to go back to driving Ambassadors and Zens. The dream has always been to test Ferraris. And today, we have a Ferrari. This is the Ferrari Roma. And thank God the lockdown is over. The Roma is the nicest looking, smoothest, most elegant Ferrari in a decade. This is a style that harks back to the 550 Maranello. Classic fastback GT proportions, muscular haunches, and a stunning shark-like nose with a modernized version of Ferrari's classic egg crate grille. From the rear, this is so sweet. Now you got this classic 4 tail lamps, but on the Roma, it is integrated into this wedge shape, which looks so cool and modern. And unlike the Ferraris that we've been used to, here there are no obvious aerodynamic aids. So there are no vents and buttresses and scoops and all of that. This is a smooth flowing shape, a classic beauty in the Sophia Loren mode. And if you don't know what I mean, well, you should go check it out, guys. Now, the diffuser, this is a carbon diffuser, and I've lost count of the number of times we've spoken about fake diffusers, but this is a Ferrari. That is the real deal. This means business. The Roma is the fixed roof coupe to the Portifino's retractable hardtop. Not that you will know it even if you see the two side by side. There really is nothing in common visually. Ferrari are at pains to tell you that the Roma is not just a Portifino with a fixed roof. 70% of this car is claimed to be new. So it is lighter, it is lower, it is longer, and it is wider. Even the wheel tracks are wider because it doesn't have that folding roof. So it is lighter by 94 kilos, and it has a static weight distribution of nearly 50-50. Plus the cabin, it shares more in common with the SF90 hybrid hypercar than the Portofino. Getting into the Roma isn't easy, especially since we've been testing way too many SUVs. You sort of drop yourself into a bathtub, and the separated driver and passenger cockpit areas deliver an intimate feel. And it feels quite roomy inside the Roma. Also, all the switchgear is the first time that we are seeing it. So you don't get a physical button for the engine start-stop, which honestly I do miss. So it is this touch panel on the steering wheel. And all this other switchgear, it is very techy, to be honest. It also reminds me of the Range Rovers. The first time we saw this was on the Velar, but it is executed so well out here. Now you have this wide TFT screen in front of you. You have multiple modes. So using the buttons out here, you can change the mode. So you get the widescreen view, where you have the navigation stretching edge to edge. You also have the tachometer, just the tachometer in the center when you're doing track days with the G-force meter out there. Or you have the traditional view where you have the big central tacho, a digital speedometer. On the right, you can put the G-forces, get other data out there. On the left, you get the navigation. You also get the navigation on this tablet-like screen, which is wedged into the cleavage of the dashboard. But I would suggest, if you buy a Roma, you should learn to use this before you get out, because while on the move, it's difficult to figure out things. So how do you change the temperature? So it's on this tablet and you figure out. So you got the navigation now. Yeah, the climate control is here. Your audio settings are also out here. This is your gear selector, which sort of harks back to the shifted gates of the old Ferraris, but obviously it is automatic. It's a twin clutch automatic. L means launch control. Your power window switches are on the edges over here. And then there are other things that you really need to take time to figure out. For instance, there is no traditional door handle. It is this button on the door pull, and when you want to open your passenger door, if you don't want to reach out, obviously nobody wants to reach out, you need to unlock the car. To unlock it, this is how you unlock it, this button out here. And there is no noise or anything that happens when you unlock the car. So you don't know if the door actually has unlocked. But again, it's a Ferrari, you will learn it. And it is definitely a very modern looking and definitely feels also very, very modern. A sonorous burble spills off its tailpipes, purposeful and similar in tone to the F8 Tributo. And to make it more shouty, there's a bypass valve whose opening is governed by load and throttle position. At least the Manantino is a regular switch. So here we have Sport, we also have Race, and you can switch ESP completely off. But we've got terrible weather today, so we're not going to put it into wet mode, but we'll stick it into sport mode and yeah, see what the Roma is all about. The first thing that strikes you as soon as you get going is the comfort. Now obviously the Roma has been positioned as a GT, and a Grand Tourer has to be comfortable to be able to do Grand Touring, but the ride comfort from a Ferrari, from something that is so powerful, is astonishing. It really rides so well, and there's no fidgeting. It's not busy over these slightly broken roads. It's just calm, settled, and in a car like this you can actually do distances. Now I know, at least here in India, not too many people buy Ferraris to do distances, but if you want to tour in a Ferrari, the Roma, it does the job really well.
You better explain your request.
It also has a modern infotainment system with voice assist and all of that, so you should be careful not to activate it while driving. And I don't like rains when we are driving a Ferrari, but this is what it is. There is a lot of power. So this is a 3.9 litre V8 twin turbo flat plane cranked Ferrari engine. This is sort of the similar engine to the Portifino, but there have been a lot of tweaks also for emissions. Yet power has gone up. 611 bhp, 760 Newton meters of torque. It's got an 8-speed twin clutch automatic gearbox, and Ferrari, in each gear they have a different torque map. So as you go up the gears, you get more torque, so it becomes even more intense, even more violent. It is inexhaustible. It just goes on and on. And this car is fast. 0 to 100, 3.4 seconds. Top speed in excess of 320 kilometers per hour. It's a proper Ferrari. It is a proper fast car, and it also sounds good. Now I can overtake a bike on the left. I can take the bad roads that the bike is not taking. I know, talking about ride comfort in a Ferrari, who cares? But in terms of usability, this is what you need. You need a car that can be used. And the Roma, it can be used even in weather like this, where it is pouring buckets. Now the Roma, it gets all of Ferrari's new electronic assistance. So you get side slip control 6, you get Ferrari dynamic enhancer, you get race mode on the Roma. So you get F1 traction control. So you can even make the Roma slide. We are not going to be doing all that today, because in this kind of weather, trying to get the tail out and everything is a bit stupid. So we got to take it a bit easy and be a little sensible. This is a Ferrari after all. But it has all the aids. So when you use it, when you use the Ferrari dynamic enhancer, when you use the side slip control, you can actually look like a sideways hero, and the car will actually not only encourage it, but it will make you look good. And that's what I love about Ferraris. They want you to slide their car around. They want you to be a driving hero. You can't fault the response of Ferrari's V8 or the connected feel of its throttle, and its exhaust note has presence. Onlookers swivel to see what's coming, and they all smile when they clock the Roma. As for the dynamics, the Roma, it feels naturally agile. It is a small car, it's a compact car, it shrinks around you. You can attack corners with intense amount of speed, and there is a lot of grip. Now on dry roads, to push it to the limit of its grip is being crazy, because you have to be really belting down. And even here, when it is wet, you still have a lot of grip. Plus the grip from the back axle, it is superb. It sticks. It stays planted. Even in the wet, you can still lean on it. You can still push this V8 engine. Push it all the way to 7,500 RPM. Feel that 8-speed twin clutch gearbox banging in shift after shift, hard and fast. Ferrari, they make some of the fastest twin clutch gearboxes in the world. And that noise. The reins have a thing for my time with Ferraris. When I drove the F8 Tributo at Fiorano, at the racetrack, it was belting down with rain. Unfortunately, it's a wet, rainy day, but then we are driving a Ferrari and there are worse jobs in the world. In fact, I did my first lap in wet mode and then only switched it to sport mode. You know what they say, there's a first time for everything. And this is the first time in my life I'm driving a Ferrari in wet mode. And likewise over here in our backyard, finally drive a Ferrari after a year and a half, ever since the pandemic started. Finally getting to drive a Ferrari, and it is pouring. But getting to drive a Ferrari, fucking hell, fast. The refinement is good, the way the bonnet rises, your sight lines are good, the seats, they are actually very comfortable, so you can spend hours and hours behind the wheel without getting tired. This is a Grand Tourer. The steering, it feels connected, it feels responsive, and it does not feel too light or too heavy. It feels just perfect, and it does not make the car feel jumpy or too aggressive. It's right. After a few minutes of driving it, you don't even think about the steering. And that is a great thing, because it is just telepathic. It's doing exactly what you want. The Roma, it is direct and confident, yet it is also calm and composed. Wow, I hope it eases off a bit, because I still need to do the closing to this story. So does the Roma remind me of the Portifino that we drove on these very roads 2 years ago? Well, not really. The Roma, it is a proper Ferrari, yet it is a proper GT. It is dynamic, it is hard, it is fast, and it also nails the GT brief really well. The ride quality is exceptional and the body control is phenomenal. At 3.7 crore rupees, this is your entry point into the world of Ferrari, and what a beautiful place to start. The only question you should be asking is, should you spend 40 lakh rupees more and opt for the mid-engine F8 Tributo? Read all about the Ferrari Roma in the July issue of Evo India, which is on stands now. You can order it from evoindia.com/magazine, and it is also available on Amazon and Flipkart.
Forgive me, I didn't understand what you said.
Cancel. Where the hell is this? Yeah, okay. I don't like voice assistants in my car.